A very good morning, Class 11. Welcome to the new chapter of Class 11's chemistry, that is structure of atom. Children, this is the second chapter of Class 11's chemistry, and this falls under physical chemistry. I hope you people are aware of the fact that this year the various chapters of your book will fall under three branches of chemistry, that is physical, inorganic and organic chemistry. And in physical chemistry we study about the derivations, the numericals, more or less the physical aspects of chemistry are dealt under this branch of chemistry. Children, this is a very important chapter, and I would suggest that from the very beginning, children, please listen to each and every fact that I'll be telling you. Okay, this chapter will introduce you to the modern atomic structure that we are studying these days, okay, which is based on quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is a new term for you, though in chemistry you won't be going into too much depth of quantum mechanics, but little bit of it will be utilized in this chapter, because quantum mechanics basically is a part of physics. And you will also be studying about the history of the discovery of the subatomic particles, that is electron, proton and neutron, and also the various classical models that were given to reach out to the current atomic model which we are studying these days, which is known as modern atomic model, and it is based on quantum mechanics. So children, the terms that I'm using here today are quite heavy and quite new to you, but you will definitely enjoy this chapter if you will be regular in your sessions, if you will be attending the videos on a regular basis, and if you try to skip out even a single day, then the connectivity, there will be connectivity problem. You will find difficulty in connecting yourself to the chapter, because it is important also, it is interesting also, and at the same time it needs your sincerity. So it's a request, children, to pay attention to each and every point that I'm going to tell you. So today is the introductory session. In today's session, I'll not take you to much details of the chapter, but I'll introduce you to what all we are going to study about in this chapter. As the name suggests, the name of the chapter is structure of the atom. So obviously we will be studying about the various things, the various subatomic particles involved or present in an atom. And to know it, obviously we need to start from the very history of the discovery of the atom. What we know today is this: the structure of the atom is somewhat like this, and we all are aware of this type of structure, where we know that in the center of the atom we have nucleus, which comprises of protons and neutrons, and together these two are known as nucleons. Okay, and the central body is known as nucleus, and outside this central body we have various shells, orbits or energy levels, okay, or stationary states in which electrons keeps on revolving. So this is the knowledge that we have of today's model of modern atomic structure, which is correct also. Up to a great extent this type of model is apt. We are following this model only, even according to modern atomic model. But this model was not discovered or was not given in a single day. It took many years for the scientist to reach to this atomic model. It was not an easy path for the scientist to give this atomic model. There is a huge history related to the discovery of this atomic model. Okay children, and obviously we don't have to study much about the history, because our subject is chemistry, but I will be introducing you to the history of the discovery of the atom in a very short way, so that at least you are aware that how did we reach to this atomic model. And Obviously, since it is a part of the syllabus, we cannot skip it. Okay, and then we will be talking about the various atomic models. The atomic models means the models that were given by various scientists, the contributions of the various chemists to the atomic model. One by one, we will be taking up these models. The first model was given by Thomson. Plum pudding model, I hope you people have heard about this name in class 9. Then the another model was given by Rutherford, and then the next model or the improved model was given by Bohr, and then little bit improvisation in Bohr's model was done by Sommerfeld, and then finally the model that we are following today, which is absolutely correct, is quantum mechanical model. What we have to study in detail is the Bohr's atomic model, which is very important in this chapter, and the quantum mechanical model, children. These two models are extremely important in this chapter. And rest I'll be telling you in short about the history, how did we reach to these models with the help of these, because you can call these models as the stairs. With the help of these models only, today we are able to study the quantum mechanical model. And then just adding a little more to your knowledge, children, you all are aware of the fact that an atom comprises of subatomic particles like electron, proton and neutron. Okay, now here is a table which will introduce you to the important informations regarding the subatomic particles. Like the charge over proton is +1, we all know it. The charge over neutron is 0 and charge over electron is -1. That is why I have symbolically represented them as this electron with like E minus, because it has one negative charge, proton with plus charge, as you can see here it has one positive charge, and neutron with 0 as the subscript. Why? Because neutron has no charge. Then here is the absolute masses of these subatomic particles. Children, I would suggest you that it would be better if you remember these values, because you will be using it in numericals. At times it is possible you are not provided with these values, so it's better if you remember it. It will help you in your competitive exams also, because from class 11 you need to think of your competitive level also, because you have just 2 years in your hand to prepare for your competitions. So please children, whatever you can keep in mind, I would suggest you try to keep that in your mind. Try to remember as much values of the constant as you can. The mass of the proton is 1.6727 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. And the mass of the neutron is 1.6750 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. There is a very little difference in the mass of proton and neutron. They are considered almost equal. Neutron is a little bit more heavy in comparison to proton. Then electron, the mass of electron is lowest. It is the least, 9.110 into 10 raised to the power minus 28 gram, which is the lowest value. And in atomic mass unit you can consider it. I have written the approx values. Okay, it is 1 AMU for proton which we take. For neutron also it is 1 AMU, and for electron we consider it as 0 AMU. I hope you people are aware of the relation between gram and atomic mass unit. You must have done it in first chapter, but again I am telling you about AMU. AMU is one atomic mass unit, which is equal to 1 gram upon Avogadro's number, that is 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23, and on solving this you will get the value as 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. Children, please do remember this value. Again, this is also very important for your competitive exams. 1 AMU corresponds to 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram. Now how do we reach to this value? How do we get this value? How do we get this relation? Okay, now let us see this. 1 mu is equal to 1/12 the mass of C12 atom. Now what is the meaning of C12? Actually carbon exists in three isotopic forms, C12, C13 and C14. But we consider C12 here. Why? Because C12 is the most abundant isotope of carbon. So we consider in most of the cases, in majority cases, that isotope of any element which exists in the maximum amount, which is the most abundant, to avoid any problem. So here also, to calculate the value of AMU, this C12 is considered as the standard atom. Though earlier carbon 12 was not the standard atom, earlier hydrogen was considered as the standard atom, which was later on replaced by C12, and even till date we are following C12 only as the standard atom for the calculation. So according to this, you can say that from here you can say we know that the mass of one C12 atom will be equal to 12 AMU. That is, if you make this as the subject of the formula, this 12 will go here and it will be written as the mass of one C12 atom can be written as 12 into AMU. Correct? Now, if I consider 1 mole of atoms, 1 mole of atoms means 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23 carbon atoms, then the mass of 1 mole of atom is equal to its atomic mass, which is equal to 12 gram in case of carbon. Now if you have to find out the mass of one atom of carbon, this is the mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms, which is equal to 12 gram. Now if you have to find out the mass of one atom of carbon, it will be equal to 12 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23. Okay, by calculating this, you will be able to find out the value of mass of one atom of carbon, and mass of one atom of carbon is equal to 1 mu, is known as AMU. Okay, so I hope it is clear, children, because here also you can see this, that the mass of one carbon atom is equal to 12 AMU, and this is also the value of AMU. So before reaching to this equation is marked as equation 1. 1 AMU is equal to 1/12 the mass of C12 atom, which is marked as equation 1. And another, this is also the value of 1 AMU, and this is also the value of AMU, that is 12 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23. Now if you compare these two, equation 1 and equation 2, then mass of one C12 atom can be substituted here as 12 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23. Or children, you can skip this. To avoid any confusion, please skip this. No need to mention it. Just see this. As you know, 1 AMU is equal to 1/12 the mass of C12 atom. And from these calculations, you can see that 1 mole carbon atoms weighs 12 gram. So 1 atom of carbon will weigh 12 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23 gram. Okay, and if you substitute the value of mass of one atom of carbon from equation 2 into equation 1, the equation will get modified as 1 AMU is equal to 12 upon 6.023 into 23 into 1 by 12. Now when you will cancel out these 12, you will get the value as 1 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23, which is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram, as you can see here. This is how we got the value of 1 AMU. I hope it is clear. I am trying to explain you this again. Children, this is known that 1 AMU is equal to 1/12 the mass of C12 atom. Okay. Now how do we get the mass of one atom of C12? From this relation. If these many atoms of C12 weighs 12 gram, okay, which is the mass of 1 mole of atoms, then 1 atom of carbon will weigh as 12 upon 6.023 into 10 raised to the power 23. Now if you substitute the value of 1 mass of 1 atom of carbon, I am writing here mass so that you don't get confused. Mass of 1 atom of carbon, if you substitute in this equation, the equation gets modified in this form, which is the value of 1 mu, and on finally solving this, you will get 1.66 into 10 raised to the power minus 24 gram, and this is the value of 1 mu. Actually mu is a very small unit of gram. Okay, if you divide gram by 1000, it will become 1000th part of gram, and if you divide gram by these many particles or this value, then obviously you can very easily find out that 1 mu is a very small unit. It is a very small unit of measurement which we associate with atoms. So this is the value of 1 mu. I hope it is clear. You must have done it in chapter 1 also. And now coming to the discoveries of electron, proton and neutron, though I'll just introduce you to the discoverers, and the history of the discovery I'll take up in next session. Electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. Proton was discovered by Rutherford, and neutron was discovered by Chadwick. Now we'll study about the discoveries later on, and I hope you people are aware of this, that atomic number is represented by Z, and atomic number is equal to number of protons, and it is equal to number of electrons in an unionized atom. That is, the atom is in neutral state. It is neither in cationic state nor in anionic state. And mass number is equal to number of nucleons, that is the sum of number of protons and neutrons. Please do remember these, children, though you people must have done this in class 9 also. So I hope the introductory session is clear to you. Children, this chapter is very important, again I'm telling you, and keep on updating your notes day by day. Don't keep any work pending, and I'll be sending you the videos on the next topic in the next session. Thank you for watching the video. Take care.